And welcome to my channel. If you're new here, what I like to do is to create videos that I would have found helpful when I first got out looking for treasure. Today what we're going to do is we're just going to go through some things that I've bought at thrift shops and garage sales over this past week. And I'll explain why I bought it. And hopefully you find this information useful for going out and finding your own treasure. Let's get this all out and then we can start digging through it. All right, there we are. Now we can start. Uh-oh. Cursed clown. Cursed clown! Yeah, I could not go home with this guy. It's all articulated. It's creepy as the Dickens. Looks like he's got some rhinestone eyes. I'm guessing the nose just got a little lost all of its well, maybe that's intentional. I don't know. And we got some, I think these are plastic. We've got a C there. So I don't know. Now I've been trying to branch out a little bit and purchase some things that I know the folks in my audience that enjoy jewelry will like. And I just thought that was crazy. It's just quite the piece. And I don't know what that C means, or if this is anything in particular. It's definitely, if we grab our magnet here, I think it's definitely all ferrous. Yeah. Maybe not him. He might be. You can see here where the plate's worn off. He might be, I don't know what that's made out of. But it's got some plate on it for certain. So yeah, anyways, we'll start with the Cursed Clown, which I couldn't not come home with. Now, it's important to note, too, that this was, what was this, half-price day, and necklaces are usually $2, so he was $1. And I thought, you know what? I think he will make a great thumbnail for a video. And you know what? There might be something more to this guy than I would initially think. But if you do know something about this little guy, leave a comment down below about him. I'd appreciate it. All right. So a lot of what I end up grabbing when I'm out and about is things that are precious metals. So for example, you know, when these things are only $1 and they just kind of get lost in the shuffle. So here we have Italy. I think we've got a 925 bracelet, don't we? If my camera will focus. FAS 925, yeah. Just a nice little silver bracelet, which I think is worth $1 all day. Call me crazy. So there's some stuff like that, which just slips between the cracks. You know, you don't necessarily, there's such a high volume of jewelry that some things, you know, get overlooked. Grabbed a little Cameo here. I think it's for, what is it? Does it go on to a scarf? Is that what that is? It's nothing particularly special, but I know my my neighbor always appreciates these because they get turned into bolo ties, and that's where that one is going to go. Much like this one right here, which is plastic. It looks like it was in something at one point. Little worse for wear, but you know what? It's intact, it's pretty, and I bet she'll be able to turn that into a bolo tie also. It's definitely plastic. This, I found interesting. Very, very interesting. Now, I'm not sure. It doesn't react to the magnet, but what does it say here? Well, hopefully you're able to read that. I will have to potentially look this one up later. Let's see if there's any clues. Now, it doesn't react to the magnet, so let's see if we have any kind of markings on the back. Not seeing any. I don't know that this one is going to be silver. It doesn't quite look right. Maybe? Do we have a quality pin? It's quality. It's not old for sure. It's decently made. I don't see signs of plate wearing through. So maybe that will be silver. All right, let's have a look at that one in a bit. I believe we were talking about this. I apologize. I got interrupted. One of my fine neighbors gave me a call, let me know there's a package out there. Didn't want it to sit overnight. I have to say, it is so wonderful having good neighbors. So I think what we'll do with this piece, now that you've had a good look at it, is we'll set it aside and we will test it. We'll see if it is silver. Man, it looks like it might be. We'll find out. But again, we were at, it was half price day, and these were $1, I think. So we're going to go through some stuff pretty quick. This actually, you might look at that and go, ooh, did he find a diamond silver or diamond gold, diamond platinum? And I think the answer is no. Now, it doesn't react to a magnet, and it does look like the stones are all set in there. I'm not seeing any plate coming through, but all that said, it's got some markings which I found odd. Those didn't look like the kind of markings you'd see on something that was made out of a precious metal to me. At least I couldn't decipher them. They almost looked like they were there to confuse. And then there's some, you're seeing this as I'm running it back and forth, you're seeing how it kind of has a weird waviness to it underneath. Now, let me grab something. So here's a real one. And this is real 10 karat. And if you see, when you look close at like actual solid gold, it doesn't have that sort of little waviness to it. Instead, it has, you can see where all the little scratches are on the surface. It's got a very different look. This is why you always want to have a nice loop. Because when you look close, you can see, and let me see if I can compare the two side by side. There you go. You see how there's almost a streakiness around those markings? Like the markings were put on and then a metal was put over them. I hope I'm describing this well, because this is really key for being able to separate out the gold from the fake. Now, maybe this is rhodium plated something, and maybe I just can't make out those markings, but I'm pretty sure this is intended to look like it's something else. However, we can test it. So let me probably do one of the easier tests. If this thing is going to be a precious metal, these stones are probably not going to be trash, right? and we'll go back to our video here. So yeah, this is going to be a good example of, I think, a fake made to look like it's something. Now, if you guys want me to test this, go ahead and let me know. But I'm actually going to put this into... I've been purchasing fakes intentionally so that we can talk about fakes. Prior to making these videos, whenever I ran into a fake, I would just destroy it because I'm offended by fakes on a very deep level. So I basically just trashed them all. But now I'm finding myself in a situation where I wish I hadn't, because they're useful for teaching. All right, well, you're probably wondering what else is in here. There's probably some good stuff in here. I think there's some good stuff in here. I'll just pick through some things pretty quickly. Like here we have a little toe ring, which is $9.25. Not bad for 50 cents. You know, if you're just grabbing some silver, why not? I thought this was quite nice. Again, we're talking about these pieces were $1. I thought, man, that looks pretty good. Let's have a look and see if we have any markings. And we do. We have 925, something Ida. And on this side it says Frederic Duclos. Nice little chunk of silver for $1, I would say. Seems like a real quality piece too. I think there's other silver in here. Oh, that's actually exciting. We'll talk about that in a second when we break out the tester. Where's the other silver? Oh, here we go. Picked this up for $1 at a garage sale. Just a nice little, probably CZ ring with silver. Can't complain about grabbing that for $1. Speaking of $1, I'm starting to grab some things like this because I know people want them. And I figure they're nice, and then when they have a actual sterling, you can see here, a little clasp, 925. Somebody's going to be happy about that. So we'll put that into our, you know, maybe for the kiddos. Jewelry. They might as well have nicer things. Speaking of which, I thought this was nicely made. I thought the shape kind of got a little odd, but just a little copper bracelet. Thought it was worth $1. Along those lines, this, which I just thought was really cool, and it is a heavy piece. I don't actually know exactly what it is. I mean, in terms of like who made it, we definitely have brass. You can see where we've got some verdigris going on in there, and it's so big. Like, I mean, I don't have the biggest wrists in the world, but like, oh, maybe this is just like for a really big dude. But I don't know if anyone can tell me what this bracelet is for, or maybe where it's from. It is a heavy thing, and I thought that was too cool not to come home with. Go through real quick. This one I thought was kind of interesting. I assumed that it was copper, maybe with some other metal inlay on it. Maybe brass? Didn't see any marking. Oh, wait, no, there's a marking. It is marked 14, no. It's marked 14K. That does not look like gold to me. What do you folks think? Does 14 karat gold take on color like that? I suppose we can test it. Got a couple little doves here. I'm thinking this one is going to go into my fakes bin. But you know what? We will test this one. I wonder. You know, before we test it, though, I'm going to do something. I'm just going to polish it up a little bit. And we're going to see real quick what it polishes like. All right, so we gave it a little scrub in the sink. And it cleaned up kind of nice. But this does not seem right to me. The interior does not seem right to me. Now again, I only paid $1. I thought it was just a nice little copper bracelet. There's no way this is going to be gold. I don't know. I guess place your bets, and if you want to know right now, fast forward to the end of the video when I test it, because I'm not going to know for a few more minutes. But I guess if you are watching this on YouTube, you can know right now. Okay, we're going to set that one into our test pile. Where's our test pile? There we go. Might as well talk about this one. This is the other thing that's going to get tested. So this, I think, is like an Order of the Eastern Star. Maybe it's very worn down. This ring's been around a long time. Now, the thing I really like about this ring is it's shiny. Super shiny. And I don't see, like, hints of tarnish. Maybe on this symbol. But that said, oh wow, that's sure, oh, that's spinny. That's pretty loose over the years. Now, but I don't quite like that pattern necessarily. I don't really understand this. And it has markings. So let's see if you can see those markings before I drop it. And again, we're looking at $1, so pretty cool ring for $1. And there's the markings for you. I would say, oftentimes when I see something that looks like a K, like that, I would think it's maybe said 10K at one point. But I don't see where the 1 could have been. Maybe just a little bit, and I can't make out what that is at all right there. CK maybe? I don't know. We're going to have to test it, see what it is. I suspect it's white gold. I suspect it's 10 karat white gold, just by the looks of it. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's something else. I don't know. Place your bets, though. We're going to definitely throw that into the test pile. We've had a pretty fun week. The garage sale started up. Thrift shops are, of course, banging as always. So there's, just nice pieces like this one right here. Nice stone. Real good example of the tarnish you see with sterling. Sterling. BI. Maybe a Navajo maker? Not sure. That should polish up good. And then I think this necklace is also, yep, sterling. There we go. So that's not too bad. Again, for $1. I'm not going to complain. Along those lines, we have this piece right here, which is also, as you can see right there, 925. Just to verify it's not a fake. Oh, don't attack me, lamp. All right. Not sure. I think this is just maybe glass. Doesn't really look like that belongs on this nice silver necklace, but whatevs. What do we have here? I don't remember buying this. Oh, yeah. Now I remember buying this. Okay. So this I found really funny. I think this is just Oh, maybe that's, yeah, see, the chain is not silver. I don't think that the little walrus tusk thing is silver either. It just looks like it's probably plated brass or something. But I was highly entertained by this. Somebody took, I think, maybe a bracelet and turned it into a chain extender. But here's the funny thing. If we take off our bracelet, our little costume jewelry thing can go over there. And we have a close look at that. I think what we're going to find, maybe, yeah, look at that, 925. So, you know, the $1 necklace was nothing special, but hey, nice little bracelet here that's out of silver. Can't complain about that for $1, right? And that's also a good lesson, because you never know what's going to be attached to jewelry, or you know, you might have a nice necklace with a not so nice pendant, or a nice pendant on a not so nice necklace. That happens all the time. Jewelry that's real jewelry can end up places you might not expect it. This one confuses me. I think it's probably just trash, but it had a marking that I was confused by. It looks like, and I'm going to take it off for a second here, and I'm going to look at it through the loop. Yeah, it looks like 999 or 666 or something. It doesn't look like it's 925. It looks like the middle is a 9. So I thought it was very odd. And again, since we're, you know, dropping dollars, I thought, well, why don't we drop $1 on it, and we will hit it with the test stone and see if it is something, if that marking actually does mean something. Because one of the things that I really do like learning about is new markings and trying to figure out what a marking is. Sometimes you can't tell what the marking is, but if you can figure out what the material is, then you can go back and go, okay, now that marking makes sense. And I find that fun. So we're going to put that into our test pile. All right, this one is probably a big score. We will test this one in a second. This is the only one I actually paid real money for. I paid $10 for this. And the reason for that is because it has it's very light. It's very hollow. You can see here damage. See how this got like crunched? And it looks like it's two different metals. It looks like we have a yellow metal like gold, and then a white metal like silver. And then it's marked 14K and 925. Now, Sherry over at Blessed Baubles mentioned to me that when you see this marking, it means that there's 14 karat gold and there's sterling silver. And it's not a marking to indicate vermeil or or gold over silver. And I thought, you know what? I feel like with as hollow as this is, we're probably looking at 14 karat gold with silver accents. And I thought that would be pretty dang cool for $10. And in fact, one of the things I haven't done, and I'm going to do it now just because, you know what? It's my video. I can do it now. Why isn't my gem tester turning off? There you go. I'm just curious to weigh it up. Now, obviously, not all of it would be 14 karat gold, but, you know, potentially 4 grams of it could be 14 karat gold, which is definitely more than $10, because the bulk of it does look to be that gold color. So we'll see. I thought what we could do is we could have a little test, maybe right in here or where it's already damaged, possibly. Yeah, this piece is already damaged, so maybe we'll take a little test right there. But yeah, I think that piece probably is 14 karat gold. Oh, this just got tossed in there. Stray earring. I probably grabbed this. I think I grabbed this because I thought I had its match. Maybe I don't. I went looking for it. I didn't find it. But I think this one may be... Yeah, there it is. What do we have for the mark right there? 14 karat, I think, even though it's white gold. Let me take it off here real quick. Use the loop. It's just to verify. Yeah, 14. So, definitely don't overlook the bottom of boxes. And then also, I'm going to put this in a spot where I think I have the other one. Oh, no. I have one that's also gold, but isn't that one. All right. We're going to put you in our orphan gold earring box. Okay. We have here stuff to disentangle. I'm not going to do that on camera. I think what we have here too is we have a good example of... Oh, no, I guess we have silver maybe. Do we have silver? We have 925. But I wonder. No? So that one looks like it's silver. And I think the chain there is silver. Yep. And then this other one, what do we have here? I don't think that the pendants are, but if you look here, you can see, yeah, we have a second silver chain. Yep, 925. So a couple more silver chains. That was from another day, I believe. That wasn't today. But we'll go ahead and put those over somewhere to be sorted out. We'll hit this watch real quick. I just liked it. Again, for $1, I couldn't resist. Gruen Veri-Thin. And it, I believe, works. Yeah, there she goes. Maybe? Yep. Ticking right away. I don't think it's precious metals. Yeah, so you can always check the backs of these. If the back is... if it's a quality watch like a Gruen here, it tells you base metal. So it's telling you that this is a gold-plated watch. But it works, and you know what? I really like the look of it. So it's mine now. I'll put that over with watches. All right, let's finish this off with something I bought at a garage sale. And I have been trying to expand out away from precious metals a little bit, because I know that there are some folks who enjoy things that aren't precious metals, and I guess you can critique me. In the comments, let me know. Did I buy something that's halfway decent? The reason I bought these things is, first off, it looks like it's probably silk or some kind of high quality thread. These are definitely glass. And I just thought that, if nothing else, it was the type of thing that somebody would probably very much enjoy. And being glass, I thought it was probably nicer than average. Now, I don't know what it is, other than it does seem to have age to it. So if you can tell me what's going on there in the comments, I'd appreciate it. I bought this at the same sale. Again, we're talking about glass, and I think, now I haven't looked too close at these yet. Are they real pearls? kind of look like they might be. So if we go back to my infamous pearl video and we use the methods there, see how they're not all the same size and shape? We don't see a coating flaking off around the holes. Oh, no, we do. Okay, they're glass. Do you see what I mean by they're glass? You can see where the coating there is flaked off, and you can see through it. So they are glass. This one is definitely not as nice. In fact, maybe this one isn't even glass. I think this one's just plastic. I think my daughter's going to get to play with this one. Yeah. Unless somebody tells me something about it, I think that one is going to be a fun little princess necklace. I don't know. What do you folks think? All right. So with that, let me pause the video, set up some testing. And we're back. First off, this one right here, I noticed it was looking very red when I was scraping it. So this piece right here, oh, what happened to it? It uncovered copper like right away. Somewhere. How did I lose it? Oh. Here we are. See right there? Copper. So that's plated, whatever it is. So I don't think we need to bother testing that at all. We'll set that aside. We'll hit this with the 14 because we think that's what it's supposed to be. Just try a little dot. I don't know if I scraped it enough. We'll have to maybe retest that one. We'll do a little bit of a 10 karat here on our supposed 14 karat bracelet, little 10 karat on our ring. And then we have here our silver, potentially. So we'll hit that with some silver test acid. There we go. And I will, yeah, I don't think I just did enough on that one. Here, you can see that our so-called 14 karat bracelet isn't even 10 carats by the looks of it. So I think this is a very good example of probably brass. And we'll hit the XRF machine at some point just to verify. But I think this is probably going to go into my fakes bucket as an example of brass made to look and fake gold. Now here, look at that, we still have it. Now it might not be 10 karat, it might be 9 karat. It's not coming through perfectly. But I think it's gold because it's still holding up to our acid. And then over here, we're gonna just check to see if this silver test acid is turned red. Dab that up. We'll have a look. Kind of thinking it probably isn't actually silver. Especially, well, no, I don't really see red there. Do you? All right. Let's go ahead and reset real quick and get a better reading with this one. Okay, I think maybe we'll just do the back of it right here. Just make sure we get a good amount on it. So we have enough for a real test. So I don't know if... I don't see... All right, just a little more here. This is just an awkward thing to test, I think. Okay. There we go. I don't see that we've... Have we gotten through to silver? This might be Vermeil. See? There. And there. Yep. I think this is probably gold-plated. Interesting. All right, we'll test it real quick. But yeah, I think this might be Vermeil. So sadly, not gold, but probably silver. So let's go ahead and test it with our 14 karat test acid. Working on doing little dots. And then we'll also hit it up here with our silver acid. And then multiple people have told me that our 18 karat is a real good test for silver, and that it will turn bright blue. Yeah. I think that's what we got. And then you can see that deep red color that's forming there. So I think this piece is probably Vermeil. But we will also hit the XRF machine with it. So we're just going to soak this up right here. Yeah, see that red right there? That's a positive test for silver. Okay. So I think that's probably what we have. I'm not unhappy with a nice Vermeil bracelet for $10. Obviously, I wanted it to be 14 karat gold, but I don't think that it's any loss. And I think it's fairly clear when we look at this back where I just rubbed it right here and here. You can see where the silver has been exposed. So I think that's probably what we have, which is cool. All right. So thinking this one's going to be fake brass. But I think we still got some gold. I think this one is going to end up being 10 karat or very close to it, which, hey, I can't complain. I think this was still a fun pile of stuff from the thrift shop. I hope you can use this information to go out and find yourself some treasure, and stay tuned because I will tack on the end of this XRF results for what we have. It was far too gorgeous, so I'm going to film this XRF results video in the apple tree. Well, assuming my video can focus. So this piece right here, which is marked 14 karat and 925, is in fact gold plate. So it's sterling silver with gold over the top of it. It came up about 11% gold and about 70% silver, which is usually indicative of like a real thick Vermeil on that machine. This piece right here is in fact white gold. So that is pretty awesome. And then this piece right here, which, let's pull that down, claims to be 14 karat. You can see there's a mark down in there somewhere. Yeah, right there, 14 karat. That is in fact brass, which I think we expected. But I am going to enjoy this glorious weather
I don't know if you can hear it, but there is so many honeybees up in this tree right now. It's just awesome. This particular tree is going to be loaded with apples. This is a great, great year. I hope wherever you are, the weather is as glorious as it is for me, and that you found this information useful and you can use it to go find yourself some treasure.